Good morning, Axial scale builders around the world. It's your boy Josh, aka Coleman, and you are now watching ScaleWars, Axial's official Battle of the Builders. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to ScaleWars. I hope you're having a good start to your day. I'm off to a good start to mine. I hope you got your coffee, your tea, or your eggs and your bacon, or whatever you do in the morning. And just got the sunrise, or in my case, the snowstorm. And anyways, we got a good episode planned out today. We've got some kind of middle of the ground builds, builds that I look at as not necessarily complete, but well, there's room for improvement, but also at the same time, they came out swinging. There's some really unique, cool stuff on these builds, and I think they deserve a lot of credit. So I wanted to show off what they did and basically give them some spotlight time. If you would like to get your build in the spotlight, you want to get on ScaleWars and basically just show the world what you're capable of, just maybe get some feedback, some tips, some tricks, whatever it is, show off your products or whatever on your builds, that type of stuff. This is how you go about doing it. ExtremeScalePerformance.com, www.extremescaleperformance.com. Link is in the description. Like always, slide over to the ScaleWars tab. Everything you need to know is right there. You're going to have your scoreboard. You're going to have your sign-up sheet with all the rules and the regulations and all that good stuff. It's all right there. So go ahead, sign up. Make sure you enter the correct photos. Actually, some of the ones in this one didn't have all the correct photos. So make sure you enter all the correct photos. Do it right. Take your time. It's a little frustrating after you enter. Take your time and just wait. You will get a confirmation. You just have to look close for it. It's small. And just take your time. And that being said, you already know what it is. I'll see you guys on the battleground. Let's do this. All right, you guys, welcome back to the battleground. It's about to go down. Before it does, though, I just want to let everybody know, if you're into early access, these episodes all stream 5-6 days early, sometimes 7 days sometimes, over on my Patreon account. So you can join Patreon for as little as $1 a month. We've got all kinds of tiers. We've got the most popular tier is the $10 a month tier. And you guys, basically, you can join up and be a part of the ESP community behind the scenes. Get early access to ScaleWars, early access to some other things I have coming down the pipeline. And also, you just kind of get to hang out with me behind the scenes. Sometimes I do live streams over there, and I post things over there that I don't post other places. So if you want to get involved, head on over to Patreon. Link is in the description as always. Now let's go ahead and get into this. First up today, we have this pretty unique looking build here from a gentleman named Stephen Porter. And Stephen Porter's out of Tacoma, Washington. He is 29 years of age. He is, oh, hold on. I got something's in the way over here. I can't see. All right, there we go. It looks like he's been subscribed to ESP for a couple of years now. Started building RCs in his terms. He says way back when. A little more specific would help, but I hear you. A long time ago, probably. Let's see, Titan, the Mercedes-Benz Actros SCX-10 Rally semi-truck is what he refers to this build as that we're looking at here. The detail part and paint list goes something like this. Axial SCX-10 base chassis with upgraded longer axial shocks in the rear to allow more flex. Stance, axle drop, he says. That's the goal anyways there. Energy titanium links. Steel drivetrain and gearing, wheel weights and steel rims, and RC four-wheel drive super swampers. Brewed Mercedes-Benz Actros cab with custom-built brass roll cage and window mesh sponsored by KS Metals. Tilt cab, access to Axial ESC and Spectrum, RXTX rear-mounted battery, and the build classification obviously is a trail truck here. But, he rates it as a trail truck slash. I guess it'd fall for a trail truck. He's got it marked down for a couple things here, and then he also marks down for a crawler and also for like trophy trucks. So I think it's just his do all type of vehicle here. Now, on a scale of 1 to 10, he rates this an 8. And as far as who we'd like to give a shout out to, let me get this up where I can see it a little better. He says, shout out to the awesome hashtag rad concept publishers of RC Media and all the great sponsors who make scale building a great hobby of mine. Axial, RC Mart, Venom, Yeah Racing, KNS, Precision Metals. So, all right. There's his shout outs there. I want to say shout out to you, Steven, for building and submitting your, your work here for me to check out. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into this build here. The photo's a little small, but I think we can work with this. It looks pretty good, man. It looks like a, kind of like a trial truck. The scale, in proportions is a little bit off. Not to upset anybody, but I'll go ahead and, dive into that and explain a little bit. And what I mean is, this cab is a 1/14 scale cab. I know because I have one myself, and they're really cool. They're the only Actros cab, really, that you can find, or forward control type cab like that, that I'm aware of. And, I believe it's from Brooder. And, they are really cool. They've got a lot of detail and stuff to them, and when you're into the trial trucks and stuff like that, it's really hard to not use one. I'm into the trial trucks myself, and I almost built one using this cab, so I understand. I see what you're going for, and I like that you did the custom panels on the back and stuff. A little bit strange with the speed limit 55 and the arrow up there. I'm not sure what that was for, but I like it nonetheless. And the mesh I like as well. It got a little crazy on that front window mesh, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. Something I think would look cool would be if you went with the raw metal wheels instead of the white, just to match the mesh. I think that would look pretty cool. Just throwing that out there. It's a cool looking rig, man. It's definitely different. Oh, here's a funky looking picture. I'm not sure what he's going for there. It's try to keep the pictures simple. I mean, this is cool looking and everything, but I'm not here to rate your picture editing skills. More or less, just want to rate your builds. And looks like he uses the Futaba radio there. It's good radio. Let's see if we can keep this going here. There we go. Another one. He's got it all tagged up with his stuff there. Looks like maybe these were published in one of their media resources that they follow. Concept. What did he say? Shout out. He gave him a shout out too. I don't see RC Media. Rad Concept, the publishers of RC Media. So I'm assuming that must be who these guys are. But this looks like it's a build picture. He's still got wires everywhere and stuff. Cigarettes are bad for you. Just throw that out there. And this looks like the construction of the panels getting lined up, following the chassis line. Nice. Looking good. I'm not sure why you got the toenail clippers out there. Here's another one here. Looks like he's got some metal work done here on the back. Looking pretty good. Not a lot going on underneath here. Pretty simple, clean. Here we're starting to get the look of it, I guess. You see it's not running at this point. You still don't have your drag link hooked up and stuff, but looks like he's getting his wheelbase worked out and everything. You can see the green shims in there basically. Or spacers for the links. I'll give it some feedback here in a second. I'm just kind of going through and seeing what he's done here. I mean, I see what you're going for. In the back, it's looking pretty good. Interesting technique there with the wrapping on the shock towers there, or the body posts. I don't think I've seen that before. Yeah, yeah, I think I've seen that. All right, I like the mesh in the back. It's pretty cool. Lots of zip ties though. Not a huge fan of zip ties. I prefer to see bolts and stuff. If you're using that brass and stuff though, I don't know if you're brazing or what you're doing, but I'm not sure how easy that is to work with. I think that's all we have for pictures. So let's give us some feedback here. Me personally, I'm gonna go off this front one here. Looks great, but I'm gonna go ahead and give you some tips because it looks like you're still fairly new to it. So well, it says that he's been building since way back when, but I'm sure he's fairly new to scale building still. just judging by a few things I'm seeing here. So the first one is going to be here on your wheels. You can actually align these to be straight, and it looks like you have your front and your back pieces of your wheel are misaligned there. I would get those worked out, get them straight, and then of course the same thing I tell everybody, get some scale hubs on there, and then also get some scale disc brakes or some sort of brake looking element behind there. Really bring it to life. Another thing I want to say is I know that you're working with what you have. You have the link setup here, 4-link setup, which is pretty cool. However, the majority of these big rigs are on a leaf sprung setup, so getting it on some form of leafs would be really, really cool and a lot more realistic, a lot more scale. Also, since you're running a 1/14 scale cab, if you wanted to really just try to get the proportions a little bit better, and I know these are fairly small wheels and tires, but maybe drop it down even smaller. Go to a smaller proportion or a smaller wheel and tire to bring it more into the proper proportions, right? So 155 tire or wheel and tire combination, maybe going down to like even a 1.9 would still work, but go down to like a like the Mickey Thompson MTZs, or really small outside diameter. Something with a really small outside diameter would really help. Let's see, what else could I recommend here? It looks like you're missing your mirrors, but I don't think you'd really have them on a trial truck anyways. Getting some stacks on here, some form of exhaust stacks would be pretty cool. That's something I would definitely like to see. Let's go some of those other pictures real quick, just real quick. Like, I want to see inside the bed again. There we go. Now on the back here, you could definitely do some stuff. It would be cool to see like some spare tires mounted right here. Have 2 spare tires. That would be really cool. Have a toolbox or some sort of storage box in the back right here. You could even put your battery inside of it, which would hide your battery from everything. I haven't seen your battery anyways, though, so I don't know where you're putting it. But if you're planning on putting it back here, I wouldn't. I would just put spare tires back here and lay them down flat, and then I would put the battery inside of a box that I would build right here in the back. That's just me though, and I would also put a lot of lights on it. Lights definitely bring things to life. That being said, though, that's about all I got for this one. Decent, except for I didn't get all the pictures I was looking for, but still decent nonetheless, and I appreciate you taking the time to submit it. Hopefully everybody in the comments will have some good feedback for you, more so than what I had to offer. And yeah, hopefully we'll see this build submitted again. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, Steven. And on to our next build. Alright, you guys, we've got our second entry of the day. This one's submitted to us by a gentleman named Samuel Ratcliffe. And Samuel looks like he's out of Wollongong, NSW, Australia. So shout out to Wollongong. I've never heard of that, but that is definitely an Australian sounding location. So shout out to Australia, man. All my Aussies in the building. What's up, man? Age 17. Looks like he's been subscribed to ESP for about 6 months now. Thank you very much for that subscription, sir. Let's see, started building RCs back in 2012, and this project we're looking at here, he just calls it the Silverado. Detailed part and paint list goes like this. The body is a Proline Chevrolet Silverado. The paint, to me, a PS5 and PS12. Energy roof rack, which has RC 4-wheel drive ARB straps, 2 tech deck boards, mat tracks, jerry can, and some horrible looking bungee straps to hold it all together. Those are his words, not mine. He says honcho tray, rifle, tow cable, a foldable antenna with folding piece from bug spray can, and some mud flaps, flares made with old rubber, chassis, axles. The chassis is the stock with stock shock towers. The chassis is the stock one with stock shock towers, stock skid plate, stock bumper mounts, energy rear bumper, and RC 4-wheel drive trail finder. One bumper, he says, front. I think he meant front bumper. And then the stock trans housing, metal gears inside. Axles are stock housing with metal C-hubs. Metal knuckles, upgraded lower steering link from Mr. Links. Rear axle is stock. SSD metal universal joint drive shafts. Suspension is plastic upper links and metal lowers. 4-linked front and rear. Stock axial shocks. Energy lift kit, he says. Electronics are Quick Run 1060 Crawler ESC. He says he forgot the brand. Absema CR3P radio and transmitter. I've never heard of that brand before. Absema. Tactic TS45 servo axial 55 turn motor. Energy light controller which runs my reverse and spotlights. Build classification is a trail truck. On a scale of 1 to 10, he rates it a 5. As far as who he'd like to give a shout out to, he says ESP for this chance to have my truck showcased, my parents for taking me to the local hobby store over the years, RC Sparks for keeping me interested in RC, and Max Power RC cars and hobbies. So thank you, man. I appreciate that. Shout out to you as well. So alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at Sam's, I don't know if he goes by Samuel or Sam, but let's go ahead and take a look at his rig here. I'm curious how this, I mean, from here it's kind of hard to make it out, but it looks good. Body clips look like they're fairly well hidden up there. Oh man, got that phantom yawn just came out of nowhere. I'm not, you know how I feel about body clips. I can't stand them, but at least you took the time to hide them. They're not right in the center of your hood, so I can appreciate that. Bumper looks cool. It looks like you'd benefit from putting a Fairlead on there though, so I would add a Fairlead to the front of that. Get your winch all hooked up, you know, hanging out there. No mirrors or anything. Body looks pretty bland, but it's still looking pretty good overall. I like that you got the accessories up top, and they're useful accessories. So let's look at some other pictures. Here's a pretty good shot of the top here. Good choice on scale accessories. The tech decks, you know, I know they're really common. I'm guilty of it myself, but it's just not something you see out on the trails very often. I do like the fuel cell and how you have it actually plumbed. That's pretty cool. I'm trying to think of anything else I see here. The lights look pretty good. I like that you have the drive shaft in there. That's a really scale accessory. It's looking good. What is this on the back right here, I wonder? Curious what that is. Almost looks like toilet paper roll with a stick attached to it. I don't know what it is. Alright, let's keep it going. Drive shafts are looking really good. I like those scaled drive shafts. Lower links are looking proper. Not a lot going on under there. I would definitely like to see, you know, some disc brakes. I would like to see, what would I like to see under here? This thing's pretty clean, honestly. I don't see a lot of wires, so that's something I do like to see. Not a lot you could do, man. The plastic upper links, I mean, if they're not broke, don't fix it, right? So, yeah, it's looking pretty good, man. Not too bad at all. Rear end here, not too bad. A little cattywampus, you know, a little off-center, a little wonky looking here, but overall, not too bad. I don't know how I feel about those mud flaps. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just, I keep yawning, guys. Sorry. I'm not sure how I feel about the mud flaps. They're not the most realistic. They look like they're just kind of glued to the posts. I'd probably get rid of those myself if it was me. And if you wanted to make it cool, add some extra detail. You know, maybe like box in this triangular area. You know, I don't know. I'm not sure I like those. And as far as having Energy logo just stamped right on the back, personally, I would just blot that out, not because I hate on Energy, but because I think it takes away from the realism here. When you look down and you see Energy, you automatically know, obviously, RC, and just, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of the way that looks. So if you were to just scrape that off, that whole section, and then just repaint it with some black, I think it would really bring your attention more to the D-rings and less to the logos, you know. And it also looks like you could add some lights to that bumper, so I would probably add at least, you know, some rear lights there. Looks good. Interior shot, well, I would say gonna be hard to judge that. Let's keep moving. Front end again. Oh, this is actually a pretty cool shot. Look it out there, man. It's a nice view. That's a good looking rig. Not too bad there. Mud flaps don't look horrible in this shot. They're not that realistic looking. I don't know, let's keep moving. Another shot there. I like that you got the scale hubs on. Proper. I like that. Good job. That's it, man. There's not a lot really to go over here. You could add a lot to it. Some inner fender wells would really help out a lot. In the back, I know that they have the you can add those outside fenders, but I'm not a big fan of them. But it would be cool to see some sort of paneling going on down underneath here. I don't know. It's just me. Overall, it does look pretty good, though. Not too bad. Oh, there is no interior. That's why. There's a battery and some wires. Alright, so you're going to lose a lot of points on your interior, obviously, or lack thereof. But, you trying, you're doing a good job, and I can appreciate it. Looks like you're missing some batteries. Looks good. There's my man right there. That's Samuel. Shout out to you, Samuel Ratcliffe. I appreciate you throwing down your build, man, letting us, kind of pick it apart a little bit. All together, looks like you've taken the time to really put functional stuff on it. You didn't go crazy with things you didn't need. You added what you did need. It looks like you're getting, just enough skill points. You could probably go do a little comping and stuff with it. Just little things, you're working with what you got and you're making it look good, and I can appreciate that. The next thing, if I was you, is I would really focus on getting an interior in there and touching up some of these little things. Maybe cut out your front two windows here so you can see inside once you get that interior. Get rid of those, I know I can tell you probably like them, but get rid of those mud flaps and, add some lights and stuff. Just a handful of little things. Looks like you had some lights, but maybe add some more lights, down on the body. And yeah, you're doing good, man. You're doing good. So I like to see that. Thank you very much. I appreciate you taking the time to submit your build. You guys jump in the comments. You know what to do, man. Give them some feedback. Let them know what you think. What would you do differently? Do you have the same body? What did you do with it? Do you like the paint color, the scheme, all that good stuff? What kind of accessories could he benefit from that maybe I didn't mention? All that good stuff. And if you would like to submit your builds, you already know what to do. Head over to www.extremescaleperformance.com, slide over the ScaleWars tab, and jump in the game, man. All of it's right there. You can keep track of the scores, enter your builds, all that stuff. Read the rules. All right. That being said, thank you, Sam. We're going to move on to our third and final contestant. Let's do it. All right, you guys, we've got our third and final entry of the day. I've been looking forward to this one. It's, I can tell you right away there's stuff that's not finished on it, so I'm gonna pick it apart a little bit, but at the same time, I'm also really excited because it's such a unique body and just a unique look. It's something I'd really like to see more of. You just don't see Toyota 4Runners, and I would really, really like to see more Toyota 4Runners. So, I personally am not into Toyotas. Most of you guys know that, but it's just something that you see a lot on the trails, but you don't see a lot in the RC world. So, that being said, this build is submitted to us by a gentleman named Brian Lowery, and Lowery or Lowry, I'm assuming it's Lowry. He is from Port Orchard, Washington, here in the United States. He's 43 years of age. Subscribed to ESP about 6 months ago, and I started building RCs back in 2008. This build we're looking at here, he calls it the 4Runner, and a detail part and paint list goes like this: Vanquish Stage 1 kit, beef tubes, Hobbyco CS170 servo, worn winch, Big Bird body, custom bumpers, sliders by me, Axial ESC, hold up, Big Bird body. I'm trying to think where I saw that before, and I just remembered. I keep wanting to say episode, an old copy of, was it RC Driver? Oh man, I don't want to offend anybody by saying the wrong magazine, but I think it was RC Driver or RC Car Action. I'm pretty sure it was RC Driver though. Back in like 2010 maybe or 11, there was it could be further back, but there was Big Bird body featured in there, and there was a article about building 1-1s with matching RCs, and that's the first time I saw the Big Bird body. So this body is actually really retro. It's really old school if I remember right, and I don't know if you can still get them or not, but really cool to see here. So anyway, sorry about that. Let's keep it going. Axial ESC 3-cell lipo. Energy motor, upgraded gears, Vanquish VVDs, custom aluminum links, 4-link FR mix, a 4-link front and rear. It's mixed rims, Pitbull XL 1.9 tires, MIP drive shafts. Built this rig with my 12-year-old daughter that passed away. Wow, man, I'm sorry to hear that. That makes this all that much more special. I didn't know that when I picked this to do the episode. So that being said, you guys, everything I say about this, take with a grain of salt, as that adds a whole another level of value to this that you don't get from building or buying parts. So that being said, let's keep going. He says he built this rig with his 12-year-old daughter that passed away. She loved playing with it when it was a Rubicon Jeep body. So that's cool. That means she was a Jeep girl, man. Yeah. That's awesome, brother. That melts my heart. As a new father, I'm so sorry for your loss, sir. And I feel humbled that you would take the time to submit this build here for me to look at and my audience. So thank you very much. I appreciate that. And again, I'm truly sorry for your loss. Man, and now as far as the build classification, he classifies this as a trail truck. On a scale of 1 to 7, he rates it a 7. And as far as who he'd like to give a shout out to, he says his late daughter, Piper Ann. Shout out to you, Piper Ann. My amazing wife, Peggy. Shout out to you, Peggy. And he says my brochacho, Noah Wyatt. Shout out to the brochacho, Noah Wyatt. So, man, I'm sorry, that kind of chokes me up a little bit. So, Brian, man, you're a trooper, bro. Definitely proud to have you here as a subscriber. So, now let's go ahead and take a look at this build you and your daughter did, man. Right off the bat, my initial my initial thoughts on it is it looks unfinished. Obviously, the body looks unfinished, but it also looks like the drivetrain and everything was built to perform. Like maybe you used to comp this or had intentions of comping it. Just judging by, let's zoom in here. He's got brass wheel weights in there, it looks like. He's got Pitbull tires. He's got some really nice bead locks on here. I think those are Methods, he said, right? It's just XL 1.9. Yeah, Vanquish VD's energy motor. What? Stage 1 kit. Does he say what wheels he has on here? Maybe I missed it, but I'm not seeing it right now. But I believe those are Methods. I don't know if they're the 105s or what, but look like Methods with some nice gold rings. I like those. They look good. I love this body work here, this cage work, the body protection. I like that a lot. So the sliders, the bumper, everything. Very, very nice touch there. I like it, man. However, as far as unfinished stuff goes, headlights, grill, things of that nature, body lines like where the hood would be closing. The windows look like they're all taped up or masked up still. I would like to see those, clear, possibly open with the proper interior in there, which I'm assuming I'm not going to find. Let's see. Let's keep it going. Boom. There we go. Woo! Look at them pit bulls. Yeah, looking good. Vanquish wheels looking really good. You got some Scale hubs in there, proper choice. I don't know what it is about them Pitbull tires, but they really do have an aggressive, just really good look to them. Some inner fender wells would really, really help here, as clearly you can see all the way through there, and that's not very realistic. Looking at the back here, same thing, looks really, really good, minus the detail. There's no detail, so having these windows done, like the black right here, having it clear, having exhaust down here sticking out would be a really nice touch on this. Gearing it nice and low with an exhaust would be a really nice touch. Actually, it looks like you have your hubs backwards. I could be wrong though, because I did find that some people's hubs are like that, and I said on another episode that the locking hub or whatever is always in the front, and apparently that's not always true. So let's keep it going. Looking good. You really like tucking them pit bulls. The body pins are killing me. Would like to see a rear license plate would be nice, and some lights back here. Obviously, you just painted it all red. I feel like you really cut the corners on the paint job here. Unless you're planning on cutting these out and putting in like 3D, light buckets or something of that nature. I feel like you really shorted yourself on what you could have done with this body, because this body has a lot of potential, and you could still go back and strip it down and do a lot with it. So just something to keep in mind. Looks good in the back, same thing, just adding an exhaust and some detail. You know, it's really just lacking the detail. Definitely going to cost you in the points game there. You know, these hood pins, ooh, not looking good. No mirrors, no door handles, no windshield wipers, none of that stuff. No stickers. But then again, you know, he could have just started this when his daughter had passed and didn't want to change it. You know, I don't know. So I don't want to be too critical here or too harsh, but at the same time, I got to give everybody the same playing field. So that is what I would recommend doing as far as you know, touching it up and getting it to that next level. Is I would cut out the windows, maybe put in some new windows, right? Because it's easy to make windows out of clear like sand. If those are painted, you know, already, that'd be a good way to do it. I would add some detail to your tail lights, add some light buckets or something of that nature, even if they're custom ones that don't look like factory ones. Get a rear license plate on there. What else? Get some, you know, door handles on there. Get some, you know, you might not have some rear view mirrors, or not rear view mirrors, but some side mirrors, but you would probably still have your windshield wipers. So I'd add those. I'd also add one to the rear window. And I don't remember if they come with one on the rear window, because if I remember right, I think these rear windows on the 4Runners roll down. I don't know. You guys let me know in the comments, because I'm not a Toyota expert by any means. So but all together, it looks aggressive. It has a really nice stance. The proportions are really cool. Tires are a little on the big side. It looks like 40s on a 4Runner, but it looks good. I like it, man. It's aggressive. I'd like to see some more of this. I'd like to see you finish this off and actually, you know, submit it again, so I could see it completely finished, you know, with all the scale detail and all the body work done to it. So that being said, that is all the pictures we have for Brian. That is actually all we have for the day, you guys. So I'm going to call it. I want to thank everybody for participating. Thank you for jumping in the comments, leaving comments and feedback, tips, tricks, you know, not just, you know, for these guys, but also for me and the show and everything. If you'd like to see changes down the road or anything like that, I always appreciate that feedback myself. I'm not sure how long this one ran, but if you made it this far, you're the real MVP. I do appreciate you. Go ahead and smash that like button, not just for me, but also for yourself. Yeah, man, I don't know what else to say other than get those builds submitted. We've still got a decent line right now, so it's going to be a little while before you see yours on there if you submit it now, but it's better to submit it now than to submit it later and have to wait even longer. So get them in. I've seen a lot of hesitation. I've also seen a lot of people thinking that if I do something like, for instance, last week we did 1.9 race, and then some folks hit me up saying, well, it looks like, you know, maybe I missed the bandwagon here and was a little late to it, but I do these episodes over and over. So 1.9 race will be featured again at some point in time. We'll do bombers, we'll do Yetis, we'll do more SCX 10s, we'll do mud trucks. I would really like to see a bunch of mega mud trucks all scaled out on here. So if you have your SMT 10 mud trucks and monster trucks, get those submitted as well. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's an Axial based build, get it submitted. I'd like to just take a peek at it, show it off to the audience, and let everybody give it some feedback. So that being said, my fam, I'm gonna get up out of here. Love you guys all so much. You already know what it is. I'll see you out on the trails. Piece of chick grease. Yeah.